Dear liberals, dear Democrats, dear Europeans, I'm very happy to welcome all of you here in my country to our common capital of our beloved Europe. Beloved Europe, I mean it. But imagine for a moment that we were a global superpower. We will be intelligent to face the multiplication of provocations, drones, shadow fleets, sabotage, cyber attacks, fake news campaigns, nuclear threats, tariffs, and I could go on. We would be efficient to retort to those openly declaring that they want to destroy our model of society and then, on some days, destroy us completely. We will be brave to secure our borders and to fight hate mongers, extreme right, extreme left, Islamic extremism, which feed anti-Semitism and calls to warfare and online radicalization. But are we smart enough? Normally, yes. Just take a look all around this room. I think you are smart enough. Are we efficient enough? Not quite sure about that. Are we brave enough? Definitely not. Our enemies are testing our limits. We talk. They find our weakness. We debate. They test and provocate. We hesitate. We keep on debating values, definitions, sensitivities. Endlessly, we keep passing resolution after resolution without concrete application. And while we are busy writing all these important texts, knowing that the European legislative process takes 19 months. 19 months for a legislation. The world just moves on without us. Something even against us. You all know the expression, when you are not at the table, you are on the menu. Nobody is listening to us anymore. We are not even in the conversation, but still we are lecturing the rest of the world. No tyranny has trembled. No war has come close to an end. To the north and the east, our friends on the front line warn us. Ukrainian soldiers are fighting and young people are falling for our freedom, for the freedom of the European Union. Dear liberals, danger doesn't systematically come from elsewhere. The danger in our countries is a populist danger. Not so long ago, our population hesitated between moderates on both left and right. Today, manipulated by algorithmism, they succumb to Trumpism against wokeism, to the far right against the Muslim Brotherhood, to communism against the return of fascism. The danger in our countries is a violent and radical activist danger. Our democratic system is and remains, I truly believe, the best and the only reasonable system that works. But Our democratic system backtracks too often in front of the excess of violence and radical activists, owner of the truth, eternally unsatisfied, frustrated. For these, the smallest grievance becomes a crusade. The smallest injustice, a tragedy. Drama queens are everywhere. They're Europeans, abandoning ambition, we're adopting regulation. In 1970, EU is Airbus. In 1980, EU is Ariane. In 1987, EU is Erasmus. In 2020, EU is a bottle cap. ETS2, for example, a new taxation that confuses ecology with punishment. More expensive, more complex, but less competitive, less united, and surely less free. Some call that a transition. Today, within the international context, I call that suicide. An energetic industrial and even European suicide for the middle class. And never forget, my friends, never forget, middle class is the blood of our democracies. And middle class is under pressure. Too much taxes, too much regulation, too much fears. For examples, thanks to EU Commission official documents, we've already know that Europe will be losing nearly 2 million workers each year by 2040. 2 million each year. Another example, we gifted the keys of our automobile industry to China by signaling the end of combustion engines too early. Automobile industry represents 13 million jobs, 7% of Europe's GDP. And still, 88,000 jobs gone in 2024 only. 28,000. In the same time, China electric cars represent 70% of the world market of electric cars. That's not a statistic. That's the reality. That's not even a warning. We might have lost this battle, but the war is not over yet. Because of your lack of competitiveness, according to the World Bank, industries' share of total EU GDP has fallen from 29% in 1991 to just 23% in 2022. These numbers are not hidden. They are written every EU report. But somehow, no one talks about them. Right now, only 4 of the world's top 50 tech companies are European. I'm very sorry for all these numbers, but it's just the reality of European Union today. I'm sorry for the atmosphere, but the reality is this one. Europe now has stagnated. And when Europe stagnates, Europe becomes weaker. 30 years ago, GDP of EU and US were equals. Today, the American GDP almost double the European GDP. But at the end of the century, we might stand dignified, but empty-handed. We would then become the new Louvre. I'm very sorry, Valérie, but I like France so much. and I'm very pity for the situation in this splendid museum, and vive la France. With liberals, with all of us in this room, this cannot, this will not happen. Dear friends, let's no longer be scared. Let's privilege risk and audacity, strength and strategy. How do we make Europe a global superpower? We have all the answers. The Draghi report lists them one by one in black and white, methodology, metrics, solutions. In the past year, only 10% of those recommendations have been applied. 10%. More than ever, Belgium might be right. L'union fait la force. Strength in unity. Let us be a Europe strong in NATO and strong by itself, able to determine aggression, and never again being caught unprepared in crisis. Let us eliminate the fragmentation of industry and defense. Let us develop an industry capable of mass producing drones and ammunition. Let us support the strategic investments in semiconductors and rare earth exploitation. Let us accelerate the development of AI and its integration into all our strategic sectors: automotive, robotics, energy, telecommunication, agriculture, aerospace, defense, industry, and the most important, the biggest capital in Europe, education. Let us reduce our dependency and break the taboo of nuclear. Sorry, Xavier. I know your position about nuclear, but we can talk just after. Xavier is my friend. It's the reason why I say that. Let us accelerate. Dear members, now is the time for a bold, confident, liberal agenda for Europe. If Europe wants to become a new superpower, it has to stop being a super conference. The world is moving forward fast. It's time for acts, strong acts. Facing these challenges, Europe needs leadership, real leadership. And leadership doesn't come from bureaucracy. It comes from the ballot box. A direct election for the EU presidency is not an illusion. It's an obligation for the European Union. An obligation for our growth, development, autonomy. That's the only way to have real influence and share of values all around the world. Power is what underpins principle on the world stage. By becoming an economic powerhouse and a security provider, Europe can engage the world on our terms. Europe must become independent from Russia, Middle East from energy, China for industry, and United States for defense. Inject intelligence, strength, efficiency into this Congress. Join the Brussels Declaration, because Europe needs us. Europe needs liberals more than ever. Let's be brave. Let's be proud to be liberal welcome to your capital. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jean-Louis.